Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the 2021 NBA title. 50-year drought. Amazing accomplishment. Congratulations to Giannis Antetokounmpo for winning Finals MVP, being the best player of the playoffs, and earning his first title in the NBA. Remarkable stuff. Inspiring story. What a player. What a phenomenal athlete. Giannis, absolutely sensational. One of the sweetest, well-earned first NBA titles by any all-time great. To do it and accomplish all these feats that Giannis has at age 26 is just simply remarkable. Only a handful of guys has won Finals MVP and been an NBA champion, won an MVP, 2 regular season MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, All-Star Game MVP. Giannis literally has every award, and he's 26 years old. Congratulations to the Greek Freak. Much respect. He's an NBA legend, an NBA icon, and I do believe the face of the NBA right now, no doubt about that. What Giannis has been able to do this playoffs, having that killer instinct and mentality to close out this game, 50 points. 50 points for Giannis in the closeout game in the NBA Finals, something that hasn't happened since Bob Pettit of 1958. To score a 50-piece in a closeout game in the Finals, this is the best closeout Finals game that we've seen since Michael Jordan in 1998. Like the best closeout game, Finals game for an individual performance, literally in a very long time. This is unbelievable stuff. Giannis' signature game, this is his best series that he's played. Like the best basketball that the Greek Freak has played has been in the 2021 NBA Finals. To go down 2-0 like that and to win 4 straight and be by far the best player on both ends of the floor, Giannis, well-deserved. All the criticism of the Greek Freak and all the doubters, absolutely no more doubting Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is the real deal. He is unbelievable. He is a champion, a winner, an inspiration, an inspiring story. Kudos to the Milwaukee Bucks. Well-deserved 2021 NBA title. Absolutely deserved it. Remarkable stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in right now as it's almost 1 a.m. NBA season ended with Giannis and the Bucks winning the NBA championship. Unbelievable. Giannis to overcome an injury for a hyperextended knee against the Hawks. It seemed like Giannis might not play these playoffs. Like this postseason has been kind of hampered by injuries, but we kind of forgot about that because what Giannis is able to do, just show up and ball out and have a 50-piece in the closeout game in the Finals. Giannis scored almost half of Milwaukee's points. He was by far the best player in the Finals, no question. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. This is absolutely amazing from Giannis. It's just unbelievable, man. Like what Giannis is able to do, all the best players all time, they can't say that they won an NBA Finals MVP at 26. Michael Jordan never did that. LeBron James never did that. Kobe Bryant didn't win the Finals MVP at 26. Kevin Durant wasn't 26 when he won Finals MVP. Neither was Steph Curry. And Larry Bird wasn't either. Like only like Magic Johnson and Tim Duncan, Giannis joins that elite group of class to win a Finals MVP at this age and doing so, winning all the awards. I mean, the Greek Freak, what an inspirational story. Like Giannis should honestly like be featured everywhere in the world of sports, from being nearly homeless when he was 13 years old. He was raised by his parents who were Nigerian immigrants to go to Greece for a better life. And for someone like Giannis to grow up from difficult circumstances and not knowing where his next meal came from as a kid, just growing up and just trying to survive and trying to make ends meet, and to be able to figure out his way. He didn't play basketball until he was a teenager, and to be able to use his physical gifts and capitalize playing ball to the best of his abilities, from some of the most humbling stories you'll ever find in sports. Giannis, I'm sure you guys see the interview when he got drafted in 2013. He just wanted to be an NBA player. He knew he was going to put in the work and work hard. He was a skinny kid at 18, 6'9", 196 pounds. And to go from 6'9", 196 pounds and put on 50 pounds of muscle, that just shows the work ethic of Giannis transforming his body. He wants to be great, so he busts his butt to go to the gym. He works out like crazy. And to improve like that from getting drafted 15 overall. Giannis wasn't even a lottery pick. He was not a lottery pick. No one knew who Giannis was when he got drafted. Like, nobody even mentioned his name once. He was just one of those guys that was just out of the blue, a gamble, something that we're not going to see for a very long time, something we have never seen in our lifetime, to be honest, like that. From an unknown prospect, getting drafted like that, not only is he the best player in his draft class, but you can officially say, and I'm going to officially say, because he earned his championship, that 26 years old Giannis Antetokounmpo, from becoming almost homeless, not knowing what he was going to do, humble beginnings, to just struggling, trying to figure out his next meal, and to make it to the NBA as the 15th pick in a struggling franchise, the Milwaukee Bucks, with no direction at their time, no direction at all. They couldn't figure out anything. I believe they won 14 or 15 games in Giannis's rookie season. He was just getting minutes. He was developing. He was a raw prospect. And to all of a sudden win Most Improved Player of the year in 2017, to making all NBA teams, becoming an all-star, winning an MVP, winning another MVP, followed by Defensive Player of the Year, and he won the All-Star Game MVP. He wanted to ball out against the best of the best player, and he showed out and delivered at the All-Star Game too. And now becoming an NBA champion at 26 and becoming the best player in the NBA. Yes, you could argue all you want, like, oh, this guy I think's better, or this guy. Giannis, I mean, you have to admit it. You have to admit it. Giannis, he's arguably the best player in the game right now, if not top two, without question. He's top three easily. Like, what he's been able to do this season was sensational, magnificent, and playing his best series in these finals. This kind of reminded me of Shaq's finals in 2000, where he was just dominating, proved to be the best player, imposed his will. And Giannis having 3 40-point games, 40-plus point games in those finals, just absolutely remarkable stuff. Like, in game 2, he did all he could. He had like 41 points, and his team still lost. And he was down 0-2 and needed help, and his teammates delivered. And he didn't even get that much help from his teammates tonight. The fact that Giannis was struggling all season, all postseason, at the free throw line, at the charity stripe, going 17 of 19 from the line. Let me repeat that. Giannis went 17 of 19 from the line today. I believe that's almost 88%. And for Giannis to shoot like that, just hitting 17 free throws and dropping 50 points. If Giannis would have missed 5 free throws and would have went 12 of 19, that would have been a pretty good mark for him. Like, Milwaukee might not have won this game. I mean, they needed every single point from Giannis, like, especially his free throws. And to go out there and drop 50 in a closeout in the NBA Finals is just absolutely insane. 50 points, NBA Finals, my God, sensational stuff. He was a man amongst boys tonight. Giannis imposed his will on the Suns. There was nothing DeAndre Ayton can do. DeAndre Ayton looked helpless out there. Jay Crowder looked helpless out there. The entire Phoenix Suns team looked helpless out there. Giannis is unbelievable. He just ate everybody alive. And to be so efficiently good today, going 16 of 25 from the field, what we seen from this postseason from Giannis, he really elevated, and he was absolutely fearless. Like, there was a type of determination that we did not see from previous seasons from Giannis. Even if he might miss 10 straight free throws or miss a couple shots, Giannis does not stop attacking. He kept pursuing greatness. He kept being relentless and just kept attack, maintain his composure, and to be able to pull something off like this is just absolutely magnificent. This is what champions do, and Giannis is the definition of a true NBA champion. Giannis, what an unbelievable closeout game. I mean, this is the type of finals performance like we really don't see that often. We only see this type of stuff from the best of the best players, and Giannis at 26 years old right now, God bless him, kudos to him. He's probably going to be the best player for the next 7-8 years. Maybe Luka Doncic will probably be up there too. But right now, this is Giannis's league. And for Giannis to win a championship with Milwaukee, the team that drafted them, remember, Giannis could have been like all the other guys that joined super teams, could have left Milwaukee. But to be able to sign the extension with the Bucks before winning a championship, and people were criticizing Giannis midseason, saying like, oh, Milwaukee's not going to do anything. They're a small market, this and that. But to able to sign that 5-year extension before winning a championship, and then he went out and balled out in the postseason to win a title like that for the city of Milwaukee, the team that drafted him, This is really greatness at its finest right there. This is the most rewarding championship since we've seen since 2016 of LeBron James winning it for the city of Cleveland. Giannis winning it for the Milwaukee Bucks franchise. A 50-year drought. 50-year drought. How fitting is it that the last time the Bucks won a championship before today was 1971, the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson, and for Giannis to score 50 points, that's 1 point for each year for that drought. How fitting is it? 50 points to go out and drop 50 to end the 50-year drought. That's legendary stuff right there. Giannis, absolutely. If he doesn't play another NBA game, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Giannis is absolutely sensational. And one day, as his legacy inched closer, because of his humble beginnings and because of his work ethic, this might not even be Giannis in his prime yet. Imagine how scary this is. Like, Giannis is only 26 years old. Most NBA players, they officially start hitting their primes at the beginning stages at like 27, 28. Like, all the best players in the world, like Michael Jordan wasn't in his prime till really 91 to 93 when he was unstoppable. LeBron didn't really start hitting his full prime until like really 2012 and 2013. That was like the peak of LeBron's two-way dominance. Like, and also guys like Tim Duncan was 27 years old in 2003 when he was in his prime. Shaq was in 2000, 01, and 02 when he was in his prime, 28 to 30 years old. So you're talking about a 26-year-old best player in the league, still possibly not even hit his prime yet. And for Giannis to win a championship like this, not even having a good outside jumper, imagine if Giannis continues to put in the work and wants to be better and better. Giannis can literally become a top 5 player all time in NBA history when it's all said and done. If he stays healthy for the next 10 seasons, and if he develops an okay three-point shot, if Giannis is able to shoot 33% from three and attempt them, and Giannis does attempt some threes, he does try to get better, even though he's not a great shooter yet. If Giannis ever shoots in the high 30% from threes, he could literally go down top 5. That's how great Giannis is. He has the work ethic, he has the determination, and he has the fearlessness. We've seen it all from these playoffs. Going up against Kevin Durant in a hostile environment in Brooklyn in Game 7, when his team was down in the fourth quarter, Giannis was scoring in the post. He was absolutely relentless. Giannis, if you guys don't think he's the best player in the game, he is definitely the best two-way player. Without question, Giannis having 5 blocks today. He blocked Devin Booker multiple times. His chase down blocks, his chase down literally just as good as LeBron. Giannis and LeBron, their athleticism and their timing on those chase downs, and some of it was called goal 10 on Giannis, but to be able to hustle back, sprint full speed like that, to not give up, and just go all out every possession. You have to respect NBA players like Giannis, who works hard on not only offense, but defense. Giannis works as equally hard on both ends of the floor, and that's what the all-time great does. Like, all the best players ever, not only were they the best offensive players in the game, but they were also the best defensive players. We see that from time and time again. Like the Michael Jordans of the world, not only was he the best scorer, but he was also the best defender in the game, and he proved that. LeBron James, the best offensive player in his prime, when he had that chase down block against Iguodala and some of the things that he did with Miami, also the best defensive player in the game, arguably. That's what the all-time great does. Like the Tim Duncans of the world and the Kobe Bryant as well. Not only do they score 25 to like 35, 40 a game, but they also play lockdown defense, and they never take any possessions off. They go in their stance and they hustle. They make winning plays. Like, there's a lot of NBA players today that puts up good numbers, that might have 35 points a game and look good on paper, but how many of them play as equally hard on defense as they play offensively? Giannis has the complete package. He doesn't need to take like 25 shots a game. Giannis can be effective crashing the glass on the boards, putting putbacks. You don't even have to run plays for him. And his activity, sometimes he's just like a free safety out there, a man's amongst boys. Just unbelievable stuff by Giannis. He is absolutely dominating. It's just great to see him coming from humble beginnings and winning Finals MVP. 26 years old, winning Finals MVP. 26 years old, having already 2 regular season MVPs, in which he came up short in some of the playoffs in the last 2 years. But for Giannis to finally pursue and elevate his game to a new level after losing in the postseason like 2 straight years in kind of devastating fashion. And for him to really elevate his game, this is the best Giannis we have ever seen in these finals, especially these playoffs. He's been absolutely sensational. Like, this is a guy who just never gives up. He never loses faith in himself. He trusts his teammates. He believes in Chris Middleton. And how about him and Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton, former G League guy. The Pistons did not want Chris Middleton. And for Giannis and Chris Middleton to become deep in the bench players in 2013 to finally becoming NBA champions as first and second options from AKA Batman, Robin, whatever you want to call it, for a superstar and an all-star type player. And then adding in Jrue Holiday, who's one of the best two-way point guards in the game, arguably the best two-way point guard in the game, to be able to play defense like this. And even if Jrue Holiday misses 10 straight shots, he still keeps coming. Like, Jrue Holiday, the definition of his playoffs in 2021 has been, he has 3 terrible games where he just misses every shot almost, and then he has 1 excellent game. He might have a couple good games, but for Jrue Holiday to just really struggle, he went 4 of 19 today, but he hit a couple key shots. He made a big 3-point shot late in the game, and to have 11 assists and play sensational defense, 4 steals tonight for Jrue Holiday to really put the claims on Devin Booker again and really give his team a boost of energy. Jrue Holiday, he was worth every penny that the Bucks got him for. Kudos to Jrue Holiday for really stepping up and playing sensational defense on CP3 and Devin Booker. What a fantastic player. Amazing just to see a guy work so hard like that, and for this team to work so hard all year round. Like, these Bucks teams in 2019, like, a lot of people thought they made a mistake after they got rid of Malcolm Brogdon and let him walk in free agency. And then, of course, Eric Bledsoe, who's not as good as Holiday. And for the Bucks to pull the trigger like that and give up draft picks, I mean, all those teams, if you want to truly contend for a championship, you got a superstar talent in Giannis. You don't care about how many draft picks you give up for the future. You try to do everything you can to help your superstar player, get him over the hump, surround him with some good players. And that's what the Milwaukee Bucks did. That's why they won the 2021 NBA title. They were persistent. They were tough. They were hungry. And they were just resilient all playoffs long. Like, from going down 0-2 against Brooklyn and to be able to win Game 3 in a nail-biter, a very close one. I mean, the Bucks have been in so many situations where we thought, like, oh, they might not have it this season. But they really stepped up, even though, like, Game 5, like, that game they blew against Brooklyn. But to come back in Game 6 and win pretty easily like that, with Chris Middleton dropping 38 that game, kudos to Chris Middleton, too. He played absolutely sensational these playoffs where they needed him to. Like, Chris Middleton, a great second option. He is a good enough second option for Giannis to win an NBA title. So Chris Middleton, a borderline. He'll probably get in the Hall of Fame one day. Just sensational stuff for him. Having a nice mid-range game. Who said the mid-range game was dead? Mid-range game in full effect when you need a bucket. And Chris Middleton delivered these playoffs. He's been absolutely amazing these playoffs. And Chris Middleton's going to earn a lot of props. And especially playing with someone like Giannis, just guys that play really hard. Jrue Holiday has probably has the most movement out of every NBA player, just active on defense, full court pressing CP3 on his feet, a lot like that, and just never getting tired and just keep battling like this. There's been many times the Bucks dealt with adversity, and for Giannis to make almost all his free throws tonight, that was just unbelievable stuff. Just Giannis. Like, everybody should be in awe of his greatness. Giannis is absolutely the face of the NBA. And for the NBA to continue to elevate as a league internationally and as a whole, and for the game of basketball, seeing Giannis' story and seeing how humble he is in the press conferences, saying all the right things, there's no doubt that Giannis is the face of the NBA. And being such a nice guy, too, like, hearing him talk, Giannis, like, there is nothing to really dislike about Giannis. You can't dislike the guy. I mean, the guy came from nothing to all of a sudden busting his ass 24/7 to becoming the best basketball player and one of the best athletes in the world. You just have to give him his respect and give him all the props in the world. Giannis is just absolutely magnificent tonight. And the Bucks, this is an absolutely amazing year for them. They capitalized and took advantage of it. How many of you all thought that the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis was going to have it these playoffs? Like Giannis, we've seen it from the last 2 playoffs. We've seen him struggle at times against physical defense, but Giannis absolutely destroyed Phoenix and took it to another level. He kind of played like Prime Shaq tonight. Giannis is absolutely sensational stuff. Giannis didn't intentionally injure Kyrie. Kyrie is just injury prone, so just get over that, man. Giannis deserves his ring. It's too bad that Kyrie Irving has been injury prone throughout his career. So, Charles Barkley, yeah. How about Charles Barkley going 6-0 in his last 6 predictions? He got everything wrong, but even Chuck got his guarantees right. He got it right. Kudos to Chuck. He's the best. He's the best commentator on TNT. Absolute legend. Charles Barkley, a better commentator than he is an NBA player, in my opinion, just because he's so funny and real. He says some of the dumbest stuff sometimes, but I love Charles Barkley, and he's great for television. He is absolutely great. So let's talk about the Phoenix Suns for a little bit. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. So the Suns, they were up 2-0, and they lost 4 straight. CP3 for the 4th time or 5th time or whatever it is. Too many times CP3 had a 2-0 lead, and he blew it. That has been the absolute biggest travesty of CP3's NBA career. If you guys want some absolute travesty t-shirts, just click on the link below on the website, and I'll give you a shout out for everyone that purchased it. So, but CP3's NBA career has been absolutely just a travesty, man. Just a travesty, unlucky, untimely. I mean, but this season should not be forgotten about CP3's greatness. I mean, kudos to the Phoenix Suns too, even though they didn't win the NBA title this year. This is a great story that CP was able to turn this franchise around from missing the playoffs for double-digit seasons since 2010 and to getting all the way to the finals like this just to come up short. This season is not a failure for the Phoenix Suns. You can't say that it's a failure. For guys like Devin Booker to really elevate his game to another level that we haven't seen from Devin Booker after all those losing seasons, from making some big time shots in the playoffs. The final stage, in my opinion, was too big for him. He just didn't have it tonight. And he's only 24 years old, but I'm sure he's going to bounce back and have many successful playoff series in the future. But Devin Booker, he's not a superstar level player yet. So anybody who thought Devin Booker was a top 10 player or inching top 10, he is not top 10. You could say that he's top 15, but Devin Booker is just not there yet. He is nowhere near in the same class as the Giannis and the Kevin Durant of the world. So, but the Phoenix Suns had a pretty successful season. Also, kudos to Monty Williams too. Monty Williams, one of the most deserving coaches if he was to win the title. Monty Williams, absolute legend, absolute great guy, and he's also one of the best leaders in the NBA as a coach. Going to the Bucks locker room and congratulating the team for winning the title against him. Monty Williams, one of the most inspirational head coaches in all the NBA. There's no one has ever said anything bad about Monty Williams. And to show that level of class and dignity like that, that's just great and inspiring for not only to NBA fans, but for young people around the world. And for all you guys that want to be basketball coaches one day, and to see the humbleness and the professionalism of Monty Williams going to the other team's locker room and congratulating Giannis and thanking him for making him a better coach, to be able to just go to the locker room like that and congratulating everybody on the other team after coming off 4 straight losses in the finals. The humility, not many head coaches are that mentally tough to be able to congratulate the other team like that. So pure class by Monty Williams. I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he's going to be coaching in the NBA for a long time. He is an inspiration too. He's one of the best guys in the NBA. And I'm happy, and all you guys should be happy for Monty Williams' success and his story. Even if him and CP3 might not win a championship together, Monty Williams deserves all his props as a coach. He's been a great coach. The Phoenix Suns, they just weren't as good as the Milwaukee Bucks, just point blank. Like, Giannis is unstoppable. He's been by far too dominant. DeAndre Ayton struggled. And the loss of Dario Saric absolutely hurt them too. Like Devin Booker's one of those guys that he can get really hot, he can get you 40, but then the next game he might get you like 15 and go like 5 of like 15 shooting and be ice cold. So D Books doesn't have the consistency yet. And the Kobe comparisons, we just gotta stop with that because you just can't really compare any current player to today to someone like a Kobe Bryant, who's arguably a top 5 or top 10 player all time, whatever you want to rank him. But to compare someone to a guy in Kobe's magnitude like that, it's just not fair. And we just got to really appreciate greatness from past players and current players too. Like certain players that in the past that's been so dominant, like we'll never see another player like them again. Everybody brings a unique style, and Devin Booker, I'm sure he's gonna make multiple All-Star games in the coming years and have many strong playoff series. But at this point in time in 2021, Devin Booker, he's just not at the super duper star level just yet. I'm sure he's gonna take notes and bounce back and learn from these finals. He just did not have it tonight, honestly. Like the Suns were out of rhythm, they were uncharacteristic, and to lose 4 straight like that must be absolutely devastating. Like Devin Booker went 0 of 7 from 3 tonight. He had some good looks. He just couldn't knock it down, especially playing in a hostile environment with not only with their 20+ thousand fans in the arena, but arguably like 65+ thousand fans also like out in the street outside in the city of Milwaukee, and probably over 100,000 fans within a couple mile radius. And for everybody screaming and shouting outside the arena like that, of course, like the pressure is going to come to certain players. But for Devin Booker in his first ever playoff run to have a successful playoff like this, even though he came up short, and to put up big numbers in big games, he's got a really bright future ahead too. So Devin Booker, this is just not his time. This is just Giannis's time. And for CP3, this loss is going to hurt more than any of his losses with the Clippers. I mean, CP3, man, like sometimes you just gotta feel for him. Like the guy plays so hard every season, and he's still doing amazing stuff even in his 16th season at 36 years old. And to be able to be the leader of the team and carry them to the finals and winning the first 2 games like this and just coming up short, he just didn't have it. Like who knows? Like he probably is not like fully healthy. He might have some injury problems because CP just wasn't himself the last 4 games. He just really wasn't himself. And how about all those turnovers? Like there were times when CP lost the ball. That's so uncharacteristic of him. Like just losing the ball like that, like to come up short. Like CP3, he was the only guy that showed up for Phoenix today. Him and Frank Kaminsky. Paul had 26 points. And a lot of all the guys, Jay Crowder went 4 of 11. Mikal Bridges, he's a guy that's great at home in the playoffs, and he was not good on the road in the finals. Wasn't good today, just made 3 shots. And DeAndre Ayton, 4 of 12 from the field. He looked really tentative out there and getting into foul trouble, having to guard Giannis. DeAndre Ayton, he might be a future All-Star. I don't think he will be a superstar player. He's 22 years old, but he's proven himself these playoffs that he can play in the postseason, and he was worthy of being the #1 pick. Although he's not as good as Luka Doncic or Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, at least he did make the finals, and he really played himself really well, and he's probably going to get a max contract without question. He's probably going to sign that extension. So DA has a bright future ahead. He's up there as one of the top 5 centers in the game. Tough loss for Jay Crowder and CP3, some of the most underrated signings this year. And how about, but I also want to give credit to Cameron Payne and Frank Kaminsky, the 2 bench players that showed up for Phoenix tonight. Like Phoenix probably would have gotten blown out if it wasn't for Cam Payne's shots in the second quarter. Milwaukee was up 29-16 after 1, and then Phoenix all of a sudden went on a crazy run, outscored Milwaukee 31-13, and Middleton was struggling. Cam Payne really like had a couple nice shots, and Frank Kaminsky, man, like it would have been hysterical if Frank Kaminsky was the one that cost the Milwaukee Bucks a championship in the city of Wisconsin, because Frank Kaminsky played like the Wisconsin Frank Kaminsky tonight. He was player of the year in college. He was an amazing college player. And for Frank Kaminsky to show up like this after Ayton got in foul trouble and to look lost and struggle all series, having barely any chemistry with the Suns since they since he got waived by some other team, and Phoenix to sign him in the middle of the season again. He played with the Suns like last season too, and Phoenix just to sign him and to get a couple basket and just have a slam dunk out there. Like Frank Kaminsky, like to this game, even though his team lost and it wasn't enough, this game probably saved his NBA career. And Frank Kaminsky, I can see him getting a contract maybe worth like 2 years, $10 million by some other team, because he has shown that he has something to offer like in the NBA, even though he's been a deep in the bench guy for the last like season and a half. So there's going to be a bright future for him. How about the X factor for the Bucks? Bobby Portis, I mean, BP, Arkansas legend, winning his first championship. And Bobby Portis is a guy who was bouncing around the league. And for the city of Milwaukee to embrace him and his toughness and energy out there, and to be able to come out and absolutely ball out for 16 big points for Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis was the third leading scorer for Milwaukee today. To have 16 big points, go 6 of 10 from the field, and to provide energy and give some instant offense, Bobby Portis, absolute glue guy. He's been absolutely sensational, man. Yep, Arkansas in the chat. And how about Bobby Portis learning toughness from his college head coach Mike Anderson, who's the head coach at St. John's University, my alma mater. So shout out to Mike Anderson too for being such a great coach to Bobby Portis and having Bobby provide some impactful minutes to help the Milwaukee Bucks win the championship. Bobby Portis, he has a $3.8 million option for next season. He's going to be getting paid. I mean, Bobby Portis is going to be getting paid next season. I mean, I'm sure that he's going to decline his option, and he will be getting paid somewhere in between, like, I would say like 3-year, $29 million, something like what the Jay Crowder would make. So I can see a big contract like that from Bobby Portis. That sounds pretty fair and reasonable, I would say. So it's just that. And for all you people in the chat that says CP3, going to the Lakers, man, shut the hell up. Man, CP3, he's going to stay with Phoenix. Now all you guys saying that, we don't like super teams. But all you Laker fans and LeBron fans out there, you want everyone to join the Lakers. You want Dame Lillard to join the Lakers. You want DeMar DeRozan and CP3. I mean, all these super teams, man, and you guys were against super teams. You guys were against the Nets, but now you guys want a super team for yourself. Man, get the hell out of here. The Milwaukee Bucks, they won a championship with the best player that they drafted in the city of Milwaukee. Giannis did not have to leave another team to win his first championship. He stayed and put in the work. And this is a really great day for the NBA, in my opinion, too, because a lot of these players over the years, after LeBron took his talents to South Beach, Kevin Durant wanted to leave OKC and join Golden State and to win a championship like that with other great players on other great teams like that. And for someone like Giannis to stay in Milwaukee, not have to go anywhere else to win a championship. A lot of young players today, like the Luka Doncic's of the world and the Nikola Jokic, to see how great the moment feels for somebody to win a title with their own team that drafted them, win a title. That's gonna bring a lot of positive stuff to those younger guys. Like Giannis winning a title for the city of Milwaukee and how everybody's embracing him and how the city loves this moment. It just feels so authentic, man. It feels absolutely sweet and authentic, man. There's no feeling like this. Giannis winning a title with Milwaukee, honestly, is similar to what LeBron won in Cleveland when he came back the second time. It feels like what Kobe Bryant when he won a championship with the Lakers after Shaq left, and also Dirk Nowitzki in 2011 when he finally won it with the Mavs. Like, that's the type of amazing feeling from your hometown team that drafted you, that you played with your whole career, and to win a title like that, that's just magnificent. Like, that's magnificent. Like, when we remember all the all-time greats, at the end of the day, someone like LeBron James, his one title in Cleveland is going to be most remembered for all his championship runs, without a doubt. His 4 titles, the one in Cleveland trumps all of it. Like, regardless, even if LeBron would have won 3 titles in Miami, I mean, that wouldn't have been surprising, obviously, playing with a guy like D Wade. But LeBron's 1 title in Cleveland, that's going to be what he's going to be most remembered for, without question, to win it with the team that draft you, and to be able to come back and prove what you're made of and prove that you can win with the team that you originally started with. That takes a lot of toughness. And the Dirk Nowitzki's too. That's why Dirk Nowitzki's NBA title run was so cherished and so unbelievable and rewarding. We all talk about how amazing Dirk was in 2011 because he never joined a super team. Dirk Nowitzki could have decided that he wanted to play for a team like a San Antonio or an LA to try to win a championship, but he was persistent and he won with the Mavs. And kudos to the NBA organizations too and the GMs for trusting in their superstars and for trying to get all the right pieces for the superstar players, and for the superstars like a Nowitzki and a Giannis to be super patient like that and to just let everything settle down and just play ball and get ready to compete. Like, you have to respect guys like that, guys that won a championship with the team that drafted them. That's just a rewarding feeling that's irreplaceable. That's why Kevin Durant's championships with Golden State, and yes, Kevin Durant is a two-time champion, and he's very deserving of those titles after how he's played with those in the finals, dominating. But at the end of the day, Kevin Durant's titles with Golden State, they're not as rewarding as the Dirk Nowitzki's and the Giannis and the Michael Jordans when they won a championship with the teams that they started out with. Like, Kevin Durant might win a title in Brooklyn next season, and that's gonna speak more volume than him winning 2 with Golden State. But like, Kevin Durant, because like he probably never go back to OKC and win a title there, there's always gonna be something like that's just not right. That's just gonna be kind of imperfect for his legacy. Like Kevin Durant leaving OKC like that, even though he did have Russell Westbrook, even if KD wins a championship with the Nets, that's going to be huge for his legacy. But winning 2 with Golden State, Kevin Durant can win 3 or 4 with Golden State, and people are just going to make that claim that, oh, he joined a super team, this and that, which he did. But someone like Giannis to be able to win a title and to be able to have guys believe in him that he can carry the Bucks to a title, that he didn't have to join a team like Dallas or Miami or LA, and to be able to prove that and win it at 26 years old. This is why Giannis Antetokounmpo is an inspiration in the NBA. And maybe this going forward, Giannis winning a ring with Milwaukee is going to have all these younger players to rethink themselves like, hey, like, yeah, Luka's probably not too happy with Dallas, the way things go his first 3 seasons. I mean, Rick Carlisle's got fired, and Dallas fired their GM after many years. Maybe Luka's going to be like, hey, like, Dallas is a great city. This is the team that wanted me from the beginning. I'm going to stick around with this team, and I'm just going to trust my organization to get the right players surrounding me. That's what they did with Giannis when they brought in Drew Holiday. They brought in Brook Lopez. Kudos to Milwaukee for getting Brook Lopez after signing him to a vet minimum, after he was not as good for the Lakers. The Lakers could have kept him, but they didn't. Like, Magic Johnson screwed that up. And for Brook Lopez to kind of rejuvenate himself and become a pretty good 3-point shooter and become a really good role player after he was an all-star for Brooklyn. I mean, those are the type of veteran players that can accept their role to help win a championship. And that's what Giannis brought. Like, if a guy like Nikola Jokic, and Nikola Jokic might be next too, like, that guy is 26 years old. He was the MVP of this season. And Nikola Jokic, man, when he sees that Giannis is able to win a championship with Milwaukee, Jokic can be like, hey, like, I trust the Nuggets organization. Jamal Murray's probably not going to come back next year. He's recovering from his ACL injury. Maybe he'll come back, but all these teams, they need to have a sense of urgency to take care of their best players and just to try to get the right pieces to build around their superstar to compete for a title and at least go really far. And after seeing what Giannis does, maybe someone like a Luka, which I mentioned, and a Nikola Jokic, and someone like a Trae Young can be like, hey, like, this is the team that drafted me. Even though, like, a lot of these guys might not win a championship for the next 3 or 4 years, because the NBA, like, it gotten so ridiculous to the point, like, the last few seasons, like free agency and whatnot. I'm not a fan of those guys, like, going from team to team to team. Like, there's so a lot of these superstar players, because the NBA is a superstar league. It's more of a players league than a team league. Obviously, a lot of people who are born and raised in the city, they're always going to be a fan of their team. Like, even if someone's a big LeBron fan, But if they're a big New York Knicks fan, they're always going to be diehard New York Knicks fans. And I know there's a lot of New York Knicks fans on this chat right now watching my video. I know there's a lot of Laker fans from LA that are watching this video that will always be Laker fans no matter what. But the NBA has been a players' league for many, many, many years. There's a lot of people like me who's big Kobe fan growing up. Like if Kobe didn't stay with the Lakers his whole career, I would have been a Kobe fan no matter where he went. Like I'm sure LeBron fans, they don't really care about the Lakers. They care about LeBron and wherever LeBron goes. Like if LeBron decided to want to finish off his career in a random place, like let's say Minnesota, like people will love Minnesota because of LeBron. And to have players over the last couple of years, like bouncing around from free agency, I just feel bad for all the young kids out there who spend a lot of their parents' money to buy like the jerseys of certain players. Like, oh, like Boston fans, I mean, I know they're disgusted, like seeing Kyrie Irving play there for 2 seasons and then he just like doesn't really care about the city like that, and he just bounced to Brooklyn. That's a wasted Kyrie Irving jersey that's cost over $100. Like Jimmy Butler too. Like Jimmy Butler, I respect him a lot, but just imagine people being Jimmy Butler fans and like buying Jimmy Butler jerseys from a team. He was disappointed with the Bulls. Then he was traded to Minnesota. He played with Minnesota for 1 year and he didn't like it. Then he played with Philly for 1 year. And people who bought a Jimmy Butler Minnesota jersey, like, man, why did I buy that for? He's gone. And then people buy Jimmy Butler Philly jerseys. Like, oh, he's gone after a year. And now he's with the Miami Heat. Like, you got players switching teams to teams. Like it's just too much at some point. And you love an NBA player to stay in one team in one city and try to compete for an NBA championship. And now New Orleans, like Zion's people's complaining like, oh, New Orleans, Zion wants to get out. He's only played 2 seasons in the NBA and Zion's already complaining. Like, what the hell? I see some spammer here. I'm trying to pay attention to these chats. I'm going to put this guy in a timeout because he is being annoying right now. So I'm going to stay up here all night till probably 2 a.m. So if you guys are just tuning in, thank you so much for watching my breakdowns. And yeah, Kawhi Leonard's another one too. Like you never know with Kawhi. Like Raptors fans will always rock a Kawhi Leonard jersey. Like Kawhi Leonard from San Antonio, Toronto, he was only there for a 1-year rental. And to leave like that and to join the Clippers, then it's a possibility Kawhi Leonard might go elsewhere this season. Like you never know with Kawhi Leonard. Maybe he's not that happy with the Clippers. Maybe he might go somewhere else again. It just gets too ridiculous at this point that all these NBA star players, they go from this team to this team to that team just because they're not happy. But at the end of the day, there's 30 teams in the NBA and there can only be one champion. There can only be one champion out there. So winning a championship is super hard in the league. And if players are not happy, like, oh, they lost in the first or second round, their team didn't have help, there can only be one NBA champion. Just suck it up. Wait till it's your turn. Like all these college kids in NCAA basketball, like they all enter in the transfer protocols because they don't like the fact that their coach is benching them their freshman year. They're not happy with their playing time. And then they want to go elsewhere and then they want to bounce. They don't want to get criticized and they want to join another team, expect to get better. Like, no, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to suck it up and put in the work and prove what you're made of. Like, it's more rewarding for a lot of players to be able to win an NBA championship with the team that drafted you, that believed in you, and for them believing in you, you believing in them, what they do, it goes hand in hand. And that's why all the best legends in the world, like the old school guys, the Magic Johnsons, the Larry Birds, the Michael Jordans of the world, and the Bill Russells, that's why the championship is so rewarding. It's absolutely unbelievable. Like those are always going to be like the one-of-one guys, the Tim Duncans of the world, and the Kobe Bryants, and the Steph Currys. Hopefully Steph Curry's going to remain with Golden State for the rest of his career. I do think he's going to play with Golden State for the foreseeable future. All you people saying Steph Curry's going to go elsewhere, and like, that's not happening, man. Steph Curry's like that, and you love to see guys like that just playing on one franchise for double-digit years, for 10 to 15 seasons, maybe even 20 years, like a Kobe Bryant or a Dirk Nowitzki type guys. Like, a few years ago, we thought we might lose that. We thought like the Dirk Nowitzki of the world were kind of like a dying breed. Guys that play for one franchise and not even think about going to other teams for a split second. And for Giannis to be able to win a championship for his own team that picked him and win it like that, dominated, it's just unbelievable. Steph Curry ain't going to the Lakers, man. Shut the hell up. Get a life, man, for you saying that. Get a life. You want everyone to go to the Lakers, but nah. Just too bad. Too bad. Everyone's still talking about, oh, he go to the Lakers. What about going to the Bucks? Just go to the. Why not play with Giannis? Giannis is one of the best teammates. Why not go to Dallas? Like LeBron James, he's one of the best players all time, arguably the best player of the past decade, without question. But LeBron James is going to turn 37 years old before the end of the year. He's going to turn 37. Why play with an aging LeBron James when he's probably going to be on the decline and you're going to get all the blame for LeBron's team losing? All his role players get all the blame. Just look at guys like Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, Andre Drummond, and Kuzma. Those guys are value diminished. They're diminished. Their value. Like, you get that much criticism not winning on a LeBron team. Why get criticized like that when one superstar is aging and then they have another superstar that can't stay healthy? Why not play for a guy like Giannis? Like, who wouldn't want to play like Giannis? Don't this look goal? Oh, shut up. You're getting your feelings hurt. Just suck it up. It's about Giannis. Why not play with Giannis? Giannis has the work ethic. He's humble. I mean, he just tries to get better every single game. And don't forget about Donte DiVincenzo. Man, I didn't think the Bucks were going to win the title this year because I thought Donte DiVincenzo was going to be a big loss for them. He was one of the best role players in the NBA, and he was an energy guy that crashed the glass. That had a Pat Connaughton type role, and him and Pat Connaughton were the blue-collar guys that just crashed the glass. And Donte DiVincenzo has good killer instinct. He was the starting shooting guard like for this past season. Like, Donte DiVincenzo started for 66 games for the Bucks. Like, he was the starter. And for Donte DiVincenzo to miss the playoffs because of a foot injury, and the Bucks were still able to pull it off like that, having one key player like miss the postseason, and for Giannis to deliver, man, this unbelievable run. Like, I just didn't think the Bucks had enough with the loss of DiVincenzo. And when they have a full team with Donte DiVincenzo back next season, I mean, if the Nets are not going to have a healthy Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, I mean, I don't see them beating the Bucks next year too. Like, it's too soon to talk about next season, but the Brooklyn Nets, like, I don't know if they're going to be a healthy team. Like, Kyrie Irving, I don't know about that guy, man. I'm just going to be honest. Kyrie's a phenomenal talent, but I don't trust him in staying healthy. His health is up in the air, and I absolutely don't trust James Harden in the playoffs. I trust Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant's fucking amazing, man. Him and Giannis are two of the best players in the NBA, but I absolutely do not trust James Harden at all. James Harden played like crap, even though he was injured on one leg. I don't want to hear the excuses. Giannis is a better player than James Harden. It's without question. It's undisputable right now. And, like, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, they're probably going to win it next season, but they got to stay healthy. They got to stay healthy, and they're probably going to sign some big men. And I feel like a lot of teams, they're going to be just as focused as trying to beat the Nets as they were trying to beat the Bucks. Because, I mean, everyone's going to attack Giannis like next season because he's won an NBA title. And Giannis to close out with a 50-point playoff game, man, like, everyone wants a piece of Giannis now. Like, he's an unbelievable player entering the beginning stages of his prime. Westbrook, is he going to get buyout and join the Nets? Nah. Like, I don't think so. Man. That would be pretty wild. But the Milwaukee Bucks, yeah. Like, I also want to talk about this series where I can't believe Game 7 of the Nets-Bucks series was actually the game that actually determined who the NBA champion was. I kind of had a feeling. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos, I made a video like a couple weeks ago saying, like, every NBA semifinal series, that was actually the real NBA finals. And the real NBA finals obviously was the Suns and Bucks, but the real NBA finals, that determined who was going to win the title. And I'm not discrediting Phoenix out there. I'm really not. Phoenix, they had a heck of a season, but the Nets and Bucks series, like, the winner of that series, for the most part, was going to win the NBA championship. And Kevin Durant, literally, Kevin Durant's size 18 shoe, like, Kevin Durant's, like, his shoe was literally literally an inch, like away from winning the series and advancing to the conference finals. Like Kevin Durant's shoe was like, it was like up to here. It was like literally up to here. It was this little space left. It was literally this little space for KD. Like he could have had stepped back maybe a little, an inch deeper. And if Kevin Durant would have drained that shot, that would have been one of the best moments in NBA playoff history, man. That was the real finals right there. Like Kyrie, he's probably recovered right now. Like Kyrie did hurt his ankle against Giannis and couldn't play. And I did assume that James Harden was probably going to stay healthy, like get better with his hamstring. James Harden had a pretty decent game 6 though, because if you look at the scenario with the Brooklyn Nets, how well Kevin Durant was playing this postseason. I mean, Kevin Durant and Giannis literally went at it, man. Like, Kevin Durant was absolutely balling. Let's not forget about his greatness, too. And for Kevin Durant to not have Kyrie Irving and to have James Harden on one leg playing like crap, and for Joe absolute travesty Harris, to miss every single shot, and Kevin Durant almost beating a team with Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday like that, man, that was some insane basketball level stuff, man. Like Kevin Durant and Giannis in these semifinals, that Nets-Bucks series, and for Milwaukee to win the second round in overtime, to come back down 2-0 twice in this postseason shows the toughness of Giannis. And one of the things that surprised me most about Giannis this season was seeing him in Game 7 against Brooklyn. Like Kevin Durant had 48 against Milwaukee in Game 7, but Giannis also held his own. Giannis had 40 points that game. He was absolutely destroying everyone in Brooklyn, and Giannis absolutely went to work. He destroyed Blake Griffin, and for Giannis to continue being aggressive and hit the teardrop over Kevin Durant in overtime for the go-ahead basket, that shows the maturity and the next level of Giannis's greatness. Like, that was the game that had me believing that Giannis does have it. He is built for the playoffs. Like, he does want it, absolutely. So, Giannis, Kevin Durant, that was an amazing series. That was really the NBA Finals, because for the scenario, like if Brooklyn had like James Harden maybe at 70%, and then Kyrie Irving, let's say, they probably wouldn't even need Kyrie Irving against the Hawks series. Kevin Durant by himself, in my opinion, was good enough to beat the Hawks. They probably beat them in 6 games, and let's just assume a scenario with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. They're beating Phoenix. They're beating Phoenix in 6 too, like without question. Like Devin Booker's nowhere near on KD's level, and CP would have his hands full against Bruce Brown, and Kyrie Irving would just cook anybody on Phoenix. And DeAndre Ayton, he ain't stopping Kevin Durant at the rim, and he's also got to have Blake Griffin to handle. I think a Nets team this season, if they would have beaten Milwaukee, would also have beaten the Suns in 6 games. So the real NBA Finals really was Game 7 of the Bucks-Nets semifinals, and congratulations to Giannis. He absolutely deserved the title. Like, the only player that was on Giannis's level, as we see in all these playoffs this year, was really Kevin Durant when they matched up. And you could say that Kevin Durant was the best player in that series. He did have a weaker team too, and we see guys that step up in these playoffs. So Giannis, obviously number 1, absolutely sensational this postseason. And Kevin Durant, shout out too. He absolutely balled out. Kawhi Leonard was sensational before he got injured, so he balled out. Trae Young, obviously. Trae Young was sensational. And Chris Paul, Devin Booker, for the most part, they were great. They were absolutely great. And those guys, and Luka Doncic was masterful, even though he lost to the Clippers. But this 2021 NBA playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks, they were the best team. They were pretty healthy. Like, for Giannis to come back from an injury like that, a lot of people thought he might have been done, and to still be able to play and play even better and be the best version of himself, that takes a lot of courage and determination. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, a big inspiration out there, absolutely deserves all the praise in the world, all the praise out there. He won. So I see a lot of people still joining this chat, so I'm going to keep talking because I'm having a great time, and I'm sure Giannis is going to get lit for the next couple of weeks, man. Like, we have Olympic basketball obviously coming up, and next season, it's going to be interesting to see. Next season, is the NBA going to start like normal times? Like, who knows what's going to happen? Like, with all the outside circumstances, is it going to start until like November. I doubt it's gonna be December and whatnot. So Giannis is gonna celebrate. Yes, we're gonna have a lot of free agency talk. Jennings said Bucks in 6. You don't have to spam like that, man. Just chill out. Then don't be a douche. Giannis is gonna be Tim Duncan of the Bucks. That's a pretty good one. That's a good one. I mean, is Giannis gonna? Giannis already has 2 MVPs, the same amount as Tim Duncan. He already has a Defensive Player of the Year, something Tim Duncan should have won but didn't win. That's an absolute travesty. So do you watch the Big 3 League? I see Nate Robinson coming back. He just woke up. Nah, I love Nate. I hope he's doing well. So if you guys want to check out some of my future videos, I'm going to have a lot of Giannis videos like coming up. I'm going to post a Giannis video by tomorrow evening, and I'm going to have more Giannis related content. So if you guys want to continue supporting my channel, I'm going to talk about Giannis a lot the next coming days and have multiple videos relating to Giannis. And right now, I haven't really paid attention to some of the comments, so I'm going to check out some of the comments. I love the chat engagement. I really appreciate it. Will Bucks get another elite player to match up with Giannis? I don't know what you mean by that. Tim Duncan is the goal. Kawhi coming to the Bucks too. I don't think Luka's going to leave. AD leaves, then wins a ship. Drew Holiday leaves and wins a ship. I see a pattern. Who's going to be next? Is it going to be Lonzo? Is the pattern going to continue? Well, at least New Orleans got rid of Stan Van Gundy. That's a good start for that franchise, but that franchise hasn't done anything, really. Kawhi is a crazy drama queen. Don't be judging Kawhi. You don't know what Kawhi's going to do next. Just appreciate him when you can, because when Kawhi Leonard, the day he retires, we'll probably never see him again until his Hall of Fame speech. So appreciate Kawhi when you can. Reading some of these comments. 2021 Bucks feel like 2011 Mass Energy. Okay, that's a pretty fair one. Oh, you Taiwanese? No, I'm Cantonese. Let's see. Still reading some of these comments. The media only praise LeBron. The only person that doesn't like him is Skip Bayless and Rob Parker. I mean, if you think Skip Bayless's takes are bad, just listen. Have you guys ever listened to Rob Parker? His takes are astronomically bad. They're way worse than Skip Bayless's take. Let's see. Klay Thompson better than James Harden? Nah. What's your reaction if Kawhi goes to the Warriors? That would be my reaction. That would be pretty soft, to be honest. Kawhi doesn't need to go to Golden State. He proved that he can win a title being the best player on the team. Game 7 what ifs. If KD didn't step on the line, what if Kyrie didn't get injured? What if Harden was healthy? I think the Nets would be champions. They were the most talented team when they were fully healthy, without a doubt. Like, especially them in the Boston series just cooking when they all dropped 20 plus and have that insane amount of efficiency like that. Brooklyn's too good. LaVine is better than Booker. We never seen Zach LaVine played in the playoffs. That's an unfortunate thing. He's been on really bad teams his whole career. And Zach LaVine, I mean, he needs some help in Chicago, man. That franchise has been terrible, honestly. Giannis, the real Terminator. Giannis, absolute legend, man. Nobody talking about the Spurs. Spurs haven't been relevant, so they missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Reading these comments. You heard about Rachel Nichols, Jimmy Butler? Nah, I don't really care about that, man. No, that's none of my business. They do whatever they want, so see some of these comments. You guys are wilding. Danny Green better than Joe Harris? Joe Harris is better right now, but Danny Green, he's been Danny Green's like, what, 34 years old? He's been in the league for a long time. And the regular season, Joe Harris is way better making his shots. But in the playoffs, I'm still going to go with Joe Harris. I mean, Joe Harris cannot have that bad of a postseason by next year. Otherwise, Brooklyn fans are not going to like it. Who's my favorite NBA YouTuber besides myself? I wouldn't say he's an NBA YouTuber and he's a former player. Mama's Cooking. That's my favorite YouTuber that I also watch. You guys can learn a lot of knowledge from him. And I used to roast him in previous videos, but I respect the hell out of him now. Great guy. Love what AKA Mama's Cooking's doing with the community. He's great, man. CP3's not going to leave the Suns. Why would he leave the Suns? Now people want him to leave Phoenix because he didn't win a title. Like, give me a break. Nah, CP3's staying. I mean, I'm sure Devin Booker is going to get better. I'm sure Phoenix is going to be able to attract some free agents too. I mean, they're going to need someone to replace Dario Saric, and Mikal Bridges is going to continue to get better. He's still really young, and Cam Johnson's very young too. I mean, I see Phoenix still a pretty good team, and DeAndre Ayton, he's going to get better as well. Do you need a championship in your career to be considered a GOAT? Of course. Of course. I mean, look at the GOATs of all GOATs. Michael Jordan, 6 championships. LeBron James has 4. Kobe Bryant has 5. Tim Duncan has 5. Wilt Chamberlain, he's the best statistical player in the regular season, but even Wilt Chamberlain has 2 championships. Shaq has 4. Larry Bird has 3. Steph Curry has 3. Kareem has 6. So, yeah, of course you need a championship to be considered a GOAT. You obviously, man, kind of question is that. And as good as CP3 is, if he never wins a championship, he can never be in the same class as the Steph Currys, the Isaiah Thomas, or the Magic Johnsons. Like, he'll be in the class of John Stockton if he never wins a title, and Steve Nash. But CP3, he's still got a couple years left. I mean, he's still getting paid for what I believe in another 2 years. His contract's going to be big, but he's got to stay healthy, and hopefully he's going to maintain his body of work. He's going to be 37 years old by next postseason. So we'll see how much CP3 really has left in the tank. It's only a matter of time if Dame wants to get traded. I don't know, man. Dame Lillard, like, is it going to be too late? If Dame Lillard stays in Portland for 2 more seasons, their team's obviously not good enough to help them win. And Dame Lillard, as great as he is, I do think he's right up there. He's maybe outside a top 10 player in the NBA, but he's just not as great as someone like a Giannis or a Luka Doncic. So Dame Lillard, he's already, 31 right now? He's 30 or 31. So in 2 seasons, the amount of mileage is played. Is Dame Lillard going to decline a few years from now? Because if Dame Lillard really wants to request a trade, he would request a trade right around now. Otherwise, if he's going to play for 2 more seasons and if he starts declining and he's getting paid $40+ million a year, it's going to be hard to trade for him then. So Dame Lillard is stuck in a tough situation, but if Dame Lillard does win a championship in Portland somehow, that's going to be insanely legendary stuff, but he needs way more help. Like, this Portland team, they're just not good enough for Dame Lillard. I mean, I do love the fact that he's trying to stay and try to do all he can. You have to respect that. And if the Sixers ever get, like, Dame Lillard somehow in a Ben Simmons trade, I would do that in a heartbeat. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So Giannis Antetokounmpo, the season belongs to him, the next face of the NBA. Giannis, future Hall of Famer, maybe possibly the best player of this 2020s decade, without a doubt, one of the top 2, obviously. So Giannis, he's probably going to be in the same class as, like, the LeBron James and the Kevin Durant in terms of greatness. I mean, that guy's unbelievable. Zion might win next. It's going to take a while for him to win. He's got to stay healthy. I mean, he's got to prove that he's going to stay healthy too. Zion to the Pacers. Imagine that. Do you guys think the Indiana Pacers will win a championship in the next 30 years or so? I mean, they're one of the most random small market franchise that seems like nobody wants to go to. So for Giannis to be able to win with Milwaukee, and for all you Bucks fans out there dying for some success for so long, having a guy like Giannis, man, like just think back. 7 years later, the year is 2014. Okay, let's say it's 2014 right now. 7 years later, the Bucks had the number 2 pick. They selected Jabari Parker. And then, like, you wake up 7 years later, and the Bucks are NBA champions. So let's say you slept for a whole 7 years straight, and it's 2014, and you know the Bucks were gonna win a championship in 2021 after they selected Jabari Parker. You probably would have thought Jabari Parker would have been like a Giannis type player, because Jabari Parker was supposed to be the Giannis of the Bucks franchise. Like, he was supposed to be the guy that was gonna help that franchise, bring that franchise to the promised land. And it's unfortunate to see a guy like Jabari Parker's career go like this after 2 ACL injuries. He was literally one of the best high school players. He was compared to like LeBron in high school. That's how good Jabari Parker was. And for Jabari Parker, who was supposed to be the face of that Bucks franchise, and for Giannis to like take over some kid from Greece, like out of the unknown, to become the best player in the NBA like that. And I'm sure Jabari Parker feels happy for Giannis, without a doubt. After, I'm sure he sees what Giannis did in practice and how Giannis was able to produce and become the player that he is right now. And Jabari Parker, yeah, he is better than Giannis's brother, no doubt about that. Where do I rank Giannis right now? 50-point closeout. He has to be the best player in the NBA, man, to play in the NBA Finals like that. Only LeBron in the current NBA is the only guy that ever dropped a 50-piece in the finals, and that wasn't even a winning effort. So for Giannis to dominate a game like that, both ends of the floors, having 5 blocks to go with a 50-point game, think about how hard that is. Like, literally, Giannis locked up the Suns on defense. Like, Devin Booker played like crap. Devin Booker went 8 of 22 from the field. DeAndre Ayton went 4 of 12 from the field. And for Giannis to lock down everybody in Phoenix and to still drop a 50-piece, his two-way presence, man, like, you can't talk enough about that. Like, if Giannis in his 2020 season, like, a lot of people criticized him last year because he lost to Miami, but Giannis, if he had his 2020 season right before the bubble, that type of regular season, like when he won MVP, he should have won it unanimously, in my opinion, and winning Defensive Player of the Year, combined with winning the 2021 NBA title. Take Giannis's 2020 regular season and combine it with Giannis's 2021 playoffs. Put that all in one season. Would that not be the best season of all time? I think it would have to be top 3. Just think about that. Like, Giannis didn't have as great as a regular season as this year, as last regular season, but Giannis had the best playoffs of his career by far, had the best playoffs of his career. So Giannis, his 2020 regular season leading the Bucks to the number 1 seed, combined with these playoffs, that would go right hand in hand with probably Hakeem Olajuwon in 94. Like, that was almost as perfect a season as you can put it. Tim Duncan in 03, Michael Jordan in 92. Whew. Like, Giannis, like, he saved his postseason for the following year. So what we thought about Giannis winning MVP in 2020, how he was dominating, how he was averaging close to 30 points a game in only 30 minutes of playing time and blowing teams out and having 5 dunks a game. And for Giannis to prove his excellence and be even better than that Giannis in these 2021 finals just shows how amazing Giannis is. It's absolutely sensational. Just imagine if you could put last regular season of Giannis for 2020 and these playoffs for 2021 and just combine that into one season. That would be just legendary stuff right there, man. That would absolutely be legendary. Vancouver Grizzlies. Vancouver Grizzlies. That's a good one. Pacers would have a ship if they didn't beat up a random fan. If that random fan didn't spill the drink. I did think Indiana was the better team that year too. They had prime Ron Artest putting up 24 a game. AD is a top 6 player. He's too injury prone. He's way too injury prone. Is this the most unpredicted NBA Finals matchup? There's a lot of unpredicted ones like in the past. I would say 1978 Washington Bullets, Seattle Supersonics. That's one of the most unpredictable finals. Where do I rank LeBron right now? Right now, below Giannis and KD. And all the other guys are debatable. What's my favorite LeBron jersey all time? The Miami Heat white and pink jersey. Like from the retro, the white and pink one. That one's sick. I love that. Giannis does have Kobe level effort. Yeah, Giannis wants it. He clearly wants it. We can absolutely learn a guy from Giannis who never takes off any possessions. Someone like Kyrie Irving can learn a thing or two from Giannis. Kyrie just going on his DMPs and not playing every game even when he's healthy. I mean, what type of leadership is that? Kyrie can absolutely learn from humble Giannis. Yeah, I know Michael scored 55 in the 93 finals, and that was game 4. Kings to Seattle or Vegas? Probably Seattle. I don't think it's a good idea for NBA teams to go to Vegas. They'd be partying all night. AKA, like the Vegas teams, all 15 guys would end up like Dennis Rodman partying-wise. Street clothes. Yeah, damn, you violating, man. Street clothes. 95 likes. 95 likes on my video. I appreciate that. But I'm going to keep talking until we get to 100 likes. How about that? So if you guys haven't liked this video, just hit the like button here. Truly appreciate your support. It's almost 2 a.m. in the East Coast right now, but I'm still sticking in there. Which Suns finals was the toughest? This one, the 93, or the 76? Definitely not 76. I would say 93. The reason why 93 finals, it was so devastating because like this one, I mean, the Suns, it was devastating too. They were up 2-0, but 93, it was Charles Barkley's near perfect season. He won MVP, and the Suns had every opportunity to win that series. Like Charles Barkley, like after losing game 1, Chuck showed up in game 2. He had 42 points. I believe he had 42 points, 13 rebounds, but guess what? Michael Jordan also had 42 of his own, and Chuck was really upset by that. And as well as Charles Barkley was, Michael Jordan was just better. And then game 3, Phoenix won that one. And then game 4, it looked like Phoenix was going to have a chance to tie the series and steal 2 in Chicago. But MJ dropped 55 on Phoenix and absolutely destroyed Dan Marley. MJ absolutely cooked him. And the reason why it's so devastating, there was a story in the 93 finals that after game 2, Kevin Johnson had a nightmare. Kevin Johnson woke up, literally had nightmares, like real nightmares. You can look up this story online. Kevin Johnson said he had nightmares of getting destroyed by Michael Jordan, and he was seeing Michael Jordan everywhere as he was sleeping on the airplane before he got his flight to Chicago, and his coach had to calm him down for game 3 because Kevin Johnson played terrible that finals. That's how demoralizing Michael Jordan was. And also in 93, like the Suns literally were in position to tie that series and try to go to a 7th game. Like Michael Jordan scored every point in the 4th quarter until the final seconds. They did a good job in getting the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands. And John Paxson was wide open for 3, and he drained that dagger. Like if that John Paxson shot didn't go in, there would have been a 7-game series. And even though I still think the Bulls would have beaten the Suns because of how great MJ is, like 7-game series, they would have gotten a little closer. And also why 93 was so devastating was because like you see the outcomes, like even the year after Michael Jordan retired, like Phoenix, Charles Barkley just wasn't as good as Hakeem. Because after that 93 loss, like Phoenix also had a couple opportunities. In 94, they were up 3-1, I believe, to the Rockets, and literally Hakeem absolutely destroyed Barkley and Phoenix. And in 95, that 95 Suns team with prime Kevin Johnson, they were up 2-1, I want to say. No, they were up 3-1 to the Rockets, and Charles Barkley missed the free throw, and Chuck Person missed a potential game-winning shot, and Game 5 went to overtime. So Hakeem dominated that game, and Houston won that game 103-97, and it was 3-2. And then Mario Elie, the kiss of death, and that really eliminated Charles Barkley's title dream. So because the 93 finals, they lost to the Bulls, 94-95, Barkley literally lost to the second best player, behind Michael Jordan of that era. He lost to Hakeem. And ever since that, the Suns never regained composure. I think the 2007 Robert Horry heat check was more devastating because that Phoenix Suns team, man, I do think the 2007 Suns team was better than this Suns team because you had prime Steve Nash, you had Amari, Sean Marion, and Raja Belt, those guys. If Robert Horry didn't heat check Steve Nash and Amari and Boris Diaw didn't get suspended, so I think Phoenix would have possibly beaten San Antonio because whoever was going to win that semifinal series was going to win the NBA Finals. Those were the two best teams left. Utah was a cakewalk to San Antonio, and Cleveland was going to get destroyed whoever they played in the finals anyway. So that Suns team, if they would have beaten those Spurs in 07, they would have unquestionably won the title 100%. That's without question. And Amari was really good. So was Sean Marion, too. And that Suns team was so great offensively. And in Game 5, San Antonio didn't even play that well. San Antonio barely won Game 5. And that Game 7 would have been at Phoenix. So 07, I thought 07 was the most complete Suns team in the Mike D'Antoni era. So that loss, that suspension to Amari and Boris Diaw was probably more devastating, in my opinion, than any of these finals losses. Because these finals losses, Game 5, the Suns, I guess they blew it in a way, but the Suns were trying to come back. They put themselves in a deficit like that. It wasn't a bad call that ruined them. Giannis just destroyed them. In 07, you could have said that. You could have argued that because of the suspensions of Amari and Boris Diaw accidentally stepping in bounds when they were on the bench. The NBA, if they were kinder, they could have been chill. Okay, it was just an accident. They left the bench for literally a half a second. If someone like a LeBron James left the bench to check out on his teammates, they would not have suspended LeBron James. So you know how the NBA works. So in my opinion, 2007 was the most devastating moment for the Suns. And in 76 wasn't devastating because the Suns were an underdog and the Celtics were the way better team with Dave Collins, Paul Silas, JoJo White, all those guys. They won in 6 games. That 76 Celtics team was so much better. Phoenix was a surprise. 115 likes. I love it. Thank you for the likes, guys. Phoenix lost 3 finals in similar outcomes, 4 games to 2. Yeah. The 76 finals, no one really gave them a chance. They were favored in these finals, and the loss of Dario Saric absolutely hurts. 93 finals, I think Chicago was probably the favorite. Suns looked prime that whole season with Barkley getting MVP, Jordan scratched all that. Yep, that's why MJ's the GOAT. Imagine dominating an MVP like that. Elvis Presley. Yeah, the Suns jerseys back then were nice, especially the purple one. The Suns and 4 guy rocking that Suns jersey. That's a nice jersey over right there. Charles Barkley would never reach the finals again. Nope. That's sad. That's sad. CP3 is probably going to end up like a Charles Barkley type career. As great as CP3 is, Prime Chuck was better, in my opinion. Shout out to the Philippines. Thanks for your support. Philippines, I appreciate everyone over there that watches my videos. I see the Philippines has a strong NBA fan base, and Philippines is the second most watched place for my videos behind the US. So appreciate you guys just listening to my NBA knowledge. After Stockton hit that open 3 in 97, yeah, Barkley was hurt. Did you watch my videos? Did you watch my previous video? Is that where you got that from? Suns. Okay. My man knows his basketball. Shout out to you, Drew. Yep, I know my basketball. I'll put my NBA basketball knowledge against anybody in the world out there, and I guarantee you I know more than them. Rest in Pete mid-range game. Anyone that says the mid-range game is dead don't know shit about the NBA. Honestly, like all these analytic nerds, oh, the mid-range game, oh, it's a bad shot, it's inefficient. Look at all the best players in the game. Like, look at Kevin Durant. Look how great he was from mid-range. Look at Chris Middleton. Look at Kawhi Leonard. Look at the Finals MVP. How many of them, like Kawhi Leonard, 2 Finals MVP, mid-range assassin. Kevin Durant, 2 Finals MVPs, mid-range assassin. And even LeBron has a pretty nice mid-range game. He hit a mid-range game. He had a mid-range shot to close out the 2013 Finals. So anybody saying that the mid-range game is dead just don't know anything, man. They're just analytic nerds that don't really know the game. So don't listen to them. The eye test. How about CP3's mid-range game? Mid-range is absolutely alive. That's one of the most efficient shots in basketball. Like if you can get your rhythm from 15 feet off the pick and roll. Like Steve Nash has a beautiful mid-range game. His pick and roll with Amari. Chris Paul's mid-range game was not even as good as Steve Nash. So like having some of the best players like Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard, like just how polished they are from mid-range. I mean, it's a lethal shot. It's a lethal weapon. And if players are just good shooters like that, it's always going to be a shot that's going to be there. Like I'd rather a player shoot an open mid-range shot than pass it up for a contested bad shot. And that's what a lot of players do. And I feel like that's getting exposed a little bit. Like you don't pass up any open shots in the NBA unless it's the final seconds and you're down 3. Like if you have an open mid-range shot, like for all you guys who play basketball out there, if you're a pretty good mid-range shooter, if you're open like from 17 feet, no one's guarding you. Why would you want to like make an extra pass to someone that might be contested? If you're open and you're a good shooter, like playing a pickup game, you're shooting that ball every time. You're wide open and that's your thing. That's your bread and butter. You shoot that ball, man, and you get 2 points. It's as simple as that. Defense is dead in the NBA. Well, Giannis didn't say so. Drew Holiday didn't say so. Defense wins championships, right? Who was the better defensive team in the finals? Who was the best defensive players? Giannis and Drew Holiday. That's why the Milwaukee Bucks are 2021 champions. So take that. My predictions for the West, too early to tell for next season. Golden State, if they land someone like a Pascal Siakam, they might be up there contending. Who knows when Kawhi Leonard's going to come back. The Lakers, they probably going to try to get somebody, but I don't trust Anthony Davis's health. If Golden State gets somebody, they're going to be right up there contending, to be honest. Phoenix could still do something too, though, so don't sleep on them, even though they lost in the finals. I hope the NBA don't do a 4-point line too, because everyone's just going to jack up half-court shots to score points, and that's going to really make the game look ugly. Golden State, I never count out Golden State. They have one of the best front office. Where is Giannis ranked all time? I'm going to have a Giannis video make out tomorrow, and I'm going to look at his resume and his legacy at 26 years old. So don't miss out the video that I'm going to put out tomorrow. It's going to be well researched. Your mind's going to be blown away from my knowledge. Dude, what are you even saying, man? I'm going to put you in a timeout for spamming. Can the Bucks go back to back? Possibly. They're probably the top 3 favorites right now. I would say they're the second favorites behind Brooklyn for 2022. But if the Bucks do go back to back and Giannis wins another title, then he's definitely going to be there in the all-time greats. Imagine someone getting 2 Finals MVP by 27. That would be insane. Giannis might win MVP next year. He might win MVP next year, to be honest. Like, if Giannis wins, how many MVPs do you guys honestly think Giannis is going to win? Who is better, 26-year-old Giannis or Durant? Just watch my video I'm going to put out tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that. Corey Kispert and Devon Mitchell, will they be good additions? I don't know if Corey Kispert is going to be as good in the NBA. It might take a couple years for him. He's going to find his rhythm. I love Devon Mitchell, though. That guy, I love his motor. I think he's NBA ready. He's like 21 or 22, and he has an NBA body. So I can definitely see him balling out and be a productive player right away. So I love Devon Mitchell. That guy has motor. Wilt 2.0. No, he has motor. Like Giannis absolutely has motor. Like Wilt Chamberlain, he was absolutely an athletic freak of nature. He was so dominant, but Giannis has work ethic. I don't know about Wilt's work ethic, and he wasn't a good teammate in his earlier years. I don't know how many more rings Giannis is going to have, but I do think he's going to win multiple rings because he's still 26 years old and still so young. I think Giannis is going to – he might win 3 rings, to be honest. He might win 3 rings. The Bucks – don't hate on Milwaukee. No, the Bucks are not one and done. You got a franchise guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. How can you ever say that he's one and done? That's disrespectful to Giannis. I mean, the Bucks could have won the 2019 title, literally. Like, if the Bucks had someone like a Drew Holiday instead of an Eric Bledsoe, remember how close they were to beating Toronto in Game 3? Like, Game 3, Toronto needed overtime to beat Milwaukee in that conference finals. And if Kawhi didn't show up for Game 3, the Bucks would have been up 3-0. It would have been a wrap if Milwaukee won that series. And given Golden State's injury of Kevin Durant, I don't think a Golden State team without KD could have beaten the 2019 Milwaukee team. I think Giannis would have destroyed Draymond. So the Bucks, they were arguably like a few possessions away from winning the 2019 title. Kawhi Leonard was just amazing. They were up 2-0, and Game 3, they lost Game 3 in overtime. Then they ended up losing 4 straight. But Game 3, they almost won that game, man. They almost won that game. Reggie Jackson's going to have a huge payday. Someone's going to pay him $70 million. Kudos to Reggie Jackson. I didn't think he was going to be a good fit for the Clippers, but I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong about Reggie. So there's that. It's been a pretty long season. NBA basketball. Hopefully for you guys to watch my channel and just learn something about NBA and just spread my knowledge out there. It's really amazing that social media allows me to talk what I love to talk about, NBA, and to do a breakdown every game of these 2021 finals. It's been incredible. It's been great. It's been awesome. Giannis has been awesome in these playoffs, and I'm going to wrap it up. Like, I'm going to stay here for the last 2 minutes. So we're going to hit 90 minutes on this stream. So favorite game of the year. I mean, game 7 and game 5, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. Those games were amazingly great classics. KD versus Giannis. Those were some of the best games, to be honest. So there's that. A lot of things to talk about. The Sixers. Ben Simmons probably going to get traded. Who knows? I think he will get traded. Like, Ben Simmons just does not have Giannis's attitude. He can be a poor man's Giannis. Like, he has the potential. He has the athleticism. But Ben Simmons, he's got to put in work in the gym, and it's up to him that if he wants to be great or not. Giannis wants to be great, and he puts in the work, and Giannis is great, and he's going to end up being an all-time great, and he's the best right now. Ben Simmons, if he puts in the work ethic, he could be a top 10 player in the NBA, but until then, I don't know about Ben Simmons' motor. Sometimes it doesn't seem like he's as hungry. So Jordan Poole will probably be huge for Golden State. Kyle Lowry, he's free agent, though. Interesting to see where he goes. So there you have it. There's that. So the next time I'm going to live stream, it could be about like a chat or something that's going to happen crazy in free agency. Maybe I'll talk about some USA basketball too. And if you guys like to see me do more live streams, then I'll do a couple more of them. And I love the chat engagements. And I'll probably talk about the draft next and whatnot. But don't forget, I'm going to have a lot of Giannis content. I'm going to have a video out tomorrow, and it's going to be Giannis related. I'm going to have probably 3 or 4 more Giannis related videos and showing how great he is. So with that said, Thank you so much for watching this video and being a part of this live stream, and you guys hearing my reactions from the 2021 NBA Finals. Giannis, NBA champion. God bless him. Congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks, and I love all of you. Wish all of you have a great night. So I'll see you next time. Peace.